My favorite genre is horror. When it comes to books, games, movies, or TVs, I just love it. Day after day, as I get back to being a regular comic reader, I have to always go back to my go-tos. Whether that's going back to comics that I loved as a kid, especially to see if they still hold up for me, reading new comics of characters that I love, and specifically reading genres I love like horror. There's a few horror or psychological thriller comics and mangas that I've read and truly enjoyed, but then a thought came to mind. Why do I only read modern comics? At least comics that seem to only pass the 21st century. It's spooky season and my favorite time to consume horror if I haven't for the year, and I remembered a website that I kind of had forgotten about, Comic Book Plus, the site for golden age public domain comics, allowing you to read comics for free and legally. I hopped on the site, changed the category to horror, and opened my eyes to a world of comics I've never set foot in before. Okay, but where do I even start? Unlike with modern comics where I can tell myself to read Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, etc., I have no idea what some of these companies are and which ones to read, so let's Google. So I found a forum of people listing which golden age horror comics they like, so I too shall like them as well. I made a list of comics I saw repeatedly and based on whichever comics I thought the cover looked cool. If you didn't know, a lot of golden age horror comics have various stories inside them, which is something I knew but forgot. So it was something I had to get used to when I actually started reading, especially when I was more curious about the opening story that's in the cover and not really the rest. Okay, enough with the chit chat, let's begin. Lawbreaker Suspense Story Issue 11. The cover for this one intrigued me. The art style, the idea that this particular story was going to be a murder of people who had their tongues cut out. I couldn't help but wonder how this lady was going to get out of this predicament or if she was next. Only the first two stories deal with horror, as the rest of the genres in here focus on crimes, so I will not be reading the rest of them. The first story, The Dead End Ghost, is only a page and nothing remarkable, as it's just a murdered criminal getting revenge on their killer by having them run over the same cliff they had killed them on. The second story, which is what is advertised on the cover, Round Trip Ticket, is about a group of patrons stranded by a bus breakdown, having to stay in a home of a man who seemingly knows a lot of information about them. The first page introduced us to our cast of characters with an image of a devil in the background, and we have Ralph Coney, a businessman who thinks anything short of murder is fair, Nancy Gress, a beautiful woman who has a hobby of blackmail, Corinne Seeley, a woman who keeps her lips shut as she might slip she had killed her husband, Waller Drum, a top pigeon, Emma Kraft, a talkative lady with her husband Carlisle Kraft, who doesn't talk much, and lastly, Sharon Kimberly, the lady on the cover who lost her voice and isn't amongst the right crowd. The 7 passengers are on the interstate going somewhere in a rainy storm. They stop to eat at a diner and get back on the road. Somehow water got into the bus's electrical system and the bus decides to leave to hike towards a house they had passed some time ago. Minutes stretched to hours and the driver never returned. The passengers decide to leave and find the house on their own. Kimberly decides she might as well go too. They find a decaying house and the owner lets them stay. He claims the driver came by but had bad service, so he left to catch a ride to the next town, so the patrons will have to stay the night. The owner shows them each to their room and seemingly knows things about them, though they've never met before, and makes threats.
Mrs. Kraft, fate plays tricks. People who talk a lot sometimes wind up losing their tongue. And you, Mr. Kraft, don't make enough use of yours. So why have one? Mr. Coney, your tongue opened the way into $1 million business and you don't care who was hurt by your vicious lies.
He does this to each passenger and takes pity on Kimberly for not being able to speak and is in bad company. As the night goes on, Mr. Coney is first to wake up to the sound of the bus motor, which the owner of had fixed up. As he gets dressed to leave, he sees a man, Barton, an old business partner who's supposed to be at an insane asylum. So how did Barton get here?
You can't come back. The business belongs to me now.
Barton comes close with his knife as Mr. Coney screams so loud that Mrs. Kraft wakes up in a fright and wakes up to her husband gone or dead because blood is beside her, but he's actually not gone. Mr. Kraft is beside his wife on the opposite side, a knife in hand. He kills his wife. Next, Miss Gregg wakes up from screams and she too sees someone with the knife, Ted, who she suspects to be a ghost. Based on her words, we learn that she may be a mistress of some sort, as she claims she will never tell his wife about them. Mr. Drum tries to barricade himself in his room as he believes the owner is killing the others, but he too has someone here to kill him, Big Pete. Lastly, Mrs. Seeley wakes up hearing the screams. Good heavens, those unearthly screams sounded like George after You killed him? And now George is here to kill her too. Kimberly wakes up curious about the sound. She sees the owner coming up the stairs with the knife in hand, and she seemingly has no way to escape.
Miss Kimberly, you have nothing to worry about. Didn't the doctor say that a great shock might bring your voice back? Fate is kind. It has removed from the people below that which they missed, their tongues.
Kimberly wakes up in the diner from before and has missed going back on the bus, and she begins to speak, believing everything was just a dream. Or was it?
There'll be another bus along soon. That one you were on was way off schedule. Must have been because of the storm. Or that new driver looked like the devil himself.
The bus driver was the devil? Am I dumb? I have no idea what is going on in this comic. It's just so strange. I mean, the driver was the devil. The old man's house exterior was a shack, yet the inside was a 2-story home with multiple rooms and a fireplace. Each passenger envisioned someone they knew, while the old man cut their tongues, and he showed Kimberly their tongues in order to shock her to speak. But everything was also possibly a dream. The art, again, is amazing, unsettling, and weird. I mean, the expressions are off, but also, appropriate. Though it wasn't necessarily scary, I can say that it was suspenseful. I wasn't thinking that this was a dream, and, whether it would be explained why people from these passengers' lives are coming back to haunt and kill them. I realized they weren't actually real, as the owner somehow had a hand in these illusions, but if it was a dream, that meant none of this actually happened. The people are on the bus, heading to their destination, but with the devil. Anyways, a great read. Well, I hope you have a spooky month. I surely am. As for the past 2 months, I've been stuck at home recovering from an ankle fracture and ankle fracture surgery, so it's honestly horrific. Mwah. Peace.